Good morning all. It's cold. Just taking the fur baby out for a walk. Not really a fur baby, he's big, handsome, hairy Harold. So this is where we are at the moment. It's Coffin Bay. We've been to so many places I'm forgetting now. Yeah, we're getting Craft's disease. And what you're seeing in the foreground there is their water treatment plant too. And these guys are going to get desalination plant happening. The water quality is poor in some sectors of South Australia, guys, as you would imagine. It's a lot of this is, of course, desert country, and it's tough to make a living on this, and it's tough to build towns around it. But you know, they'll get there eventually. And of course, South Australia is, like a lot of states, is steeped in some great history, you know, and it's really worth coming here and having a look. By the time you guys get this, we probably would have moved on by then. But you know, South Australia is definitely worth a look, guys. Don't scrub it off. I mean, even in front of you here now, this little stone fence here, I mean, God knows when it was made, you know. There's been repairs done to it, but you know, you God knows how old it is, and you know how long it's been here. And when you're travelling around the countryside, you can see evidence of buildings way back when, you know, and you just shake yourself and think, how in God's name did these people scratch a living out of this earth, you know? What did they do? It's quite incredible. It's quite incredible, it really is. Like most of Australia, you know, it's great to travel around and have a look, but also absorb their history. Absorb the history because it's so important to do that, because history teaches us, and hopefully we don't make the same mistakes again. Now, I made a little video last night. I was actually in shock last night. I was in shock. I had witnessed some incredible events that have been happening in this country that have left me feeling quite gutted and very disturbed. And when this does come out, if it's not quashed, if it's not turned over again, it's going to change how we all feel about our country, our politicians, our academics, our leaders, and I'm not. This is not a broad brushstroke. It's not a generalisation. And I've been prattling on like a bloody idiot for months. You know, doing my own little videos, sticking my fingers up in the air, going blah blah blah, and you know, turns out I wasn't far from the truth. But I didn't fucking realise how deep it went. My God. I mean, we're talking abhorrent evil here. And a lot of Australians are going to be sick to the stomach. A lot of the people that you thought were your heroes, they're not people. They're not our heroes at all. They're just part of one big filthy fucking mob. Oh God. And the people, the children, our children have suffered so greatly. These children are now adults, and they're trying to tell their story. Now, I don't know if you realise it or not, and I didn't have a clue. I had no idea. This inquiry, this Royal Commission into Child Abuse, was stopped with 49,000 people yet to tell their story. And these 49,000 people never got to tell their story for a very, very good reason. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the people who told their story were selected. They didn't know it. They just thought they were part of justice. And, you know, for the greater part of their horrific lives, they were indeed. They were telling the truth of what has happened to them. And it was incredibly harsh, brutal, and evil. But if this comes to fruition, if these people get to tell their stories, I promise you, like it's too devastating not to be true. And if that happens, it's going to change the face of how we view our governments and everything around us. This will be a cataclysmic event, and Australians will be left feeling very empty and very gutted, both for the victims of this nonsense and for the perpetrators who allowed it to happen. We're talking police, we're talking judges, we're talking QCs and lawyers, all appointed. Everyone who has to go through a government appointment, you have to understand why they're appointed. And there's something far more sinister behind it than we realised at first. It's awful. It's just awful. You know, so be prepared. For all us decent people who just got up every morning and went to work and paid our taxes, raised our children, for all those people out there who did that, your world is about to be rocked. It's incredible. I can't go into it too deeply because it's just too much. You know, I don't have the expertise and the knowledge to fold it over, and some of it is so amazing that you know, it's just hard to comprehend. It's going to be hard to comprehend. How this was allowed to happen is because the people who should have stopped it didn't. And that's the truth. And it even involves our armed services to a degree. People that you thought were our heroes will no longer be your heroes. I can tell you that. It's a very, 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 very sad time for Australia. Very sad time. It's going to make Aboriginals and people, all that stuff that we thought was important, it's going to pale into significance when this comes out. I'll tell you. Alright. For all you people out there who I know and love, I do love you, and brace yourself because it's going to be horrific. A really horrific. I mean, I'm not well, I wasn't born in this country. I was born in New Zealand. I came here in '79. And I love this country because it's given me more opportunity than my own country did at the time, because a politician ruined it. He did. God knows what his level is in this. But, you know, it's all very dark, guys. Very, very, very dark. It's almost like a play script. You wouldn't believe it if you... you just wouldn't believe it. You know, it's incredible. Anyway, I'm going to love yous now. I'm going to sign off because, yeah. You know that word headspace? You need headspace to comprehend that level of evil. And I need headspace. And you're going to need it too when you hear it, I'm going to tell you. And you've got to believe it. Just remember one thing, as I said before in my last video. When people talk about abuse, you must believe them. You must believe it. As amazing and as fantastic as some of these stories are going to be. I mean, you're going to hear CIA involvement. And at the moment we hear shit like that, we all throw our heads back and go, oh God, here we go, you know. But some of it's going to be true, guys. And you got to be ready for that. Our great protectors, our countries, our places that we thought were looking after us really have not been looking after us at all. They've been feathering their own nest and carrying on with a path of evil that would be seemed unrecognisable in true human humanity. That's what I'm trying to say. It's unrecognisable in humanity that people would, of such distinction, I nearly fell on my arse then, such distinction would be allowed to do this and carry on with it and get away with it, and they have, because the people that are supposed to be protecting us are actually part there of it. It is one of the biggest conspiracies ever. And it involves a lot of darkness, guys, a lot of darkness. Anyway, I've got to finish because I'm in shock. I'm in shock. I really am in shock. I love you guys. Take care, be prepared. And we may join up and talk later. Might do a podcast when it all comes out, if it does come out. But nothing is as seems as it is. See ya. Love ya.